You are now tuned into the weekly broadcast, Inspired Moments with Sharel. We love sharing artists and authors' works to inspire our communities and encourage awareness for social and critical issues. Here's your host, Sharel.
Hello, and thank you for joining us again for another edition of Inspired Moments with Sharel. Today, one of our special guests is author Cassius Ali. He started writing in high school and wrote plays and won speech contests and became an editor of the yearbook staff of Barlow Elementary School in the city of Plainfield, New Jersey. He later wrote 2 books for Barlow Elementary School while studying at the George Street Playhouse. Today, author Cassius Ali is joining us to talk about his book of poetry, The Last Word. Hello, author Cassius Ali. Welcome to Inspired Moments with Sharel. I'm glad you took out time out of your schedule to join us today and to share your books with us and to end your poetry.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a privilege. I had an opportunity to read a couple of your poems from your book, The Last Word, and they are awesome. I really enjoy them. And as much as I love poetry, I like to hear the poet who wrote it recite it, and I'm sure we'll get to that. But could you tell us how you were inspired to write a book of poetry?
Oh, yes. I have years of experience working with kids, experiencing a lot of the things they've went through because I work for Board of Ed. I have a very difficult past myself where hardships, was an everyday thing. And that's why, for me, poetry comes so close to heart because it gives me a chance to express a lot of feelings, and plus I can relate to a lot of the things that the kids are going through today, with problems in the family, problems with not having money, problems getting, in relationships, problems not having the clothes that everybody else keeps up with or the shoes. In a poem, you can express a point, a meaning, an emotion that someone can relate to, and if it makes them feel better or gets some of that pressure off of them because they're going through it, then it's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, and just reading your poetry, it is very uplifting and encouraging. I do want you to know that. Just to read it and give someone else hope is an awesome thing. And what I like about poetry is you can control the length, and it could be something, a poem that you've written that someone can just go to when they're feeling a certain way, when they're going through a certain thing. And the very words that you've penned will uplift them and help take them through that rough period. And I commend you really for working with children. A lot of times we believe that working with children is so very difficult, but they are very special people. Can you tell us what that is like and if that is something that you still do today, work with children?
Working with children is kind of like building bridges. I love to create things. So when you create a relationship with a young person, and you can be young of heart, it's like you notice that most kids, it depends on where they are in their life, they can still be honest. As adults, we wear masks and disguises and things. I personally enjoy the company of kids because they love to play. They love to be honest. They'll tell you what's really on their mind without worrying about what you think. Or worrying about a recourse of, anything. It's like, I want to play. I don't want to go to bed. They're honest, and that is refreshing after dealing with so many adults. They're energetic. I love that. They're just playful, and that's very much like my nature. So I enjoy it. And do I still do it? My job career changed or title changed a bit, so I don't do it as much. When I was doing stage plays, improvs. I was taking them. I got to take them to the stage of the high school citywide PTO representation, but that was a while. Lately, I've been doing my acting and doing whatever was available. But I still coach, teach, help my nephews, nieces, and things like that whenever I can.
Awesome. What kind of stage plays did you do with the children?
Oh, that was the greatest thing. When I worked at Barlow, what was at Barlow at that time on what they were doing, and that they were talented. You had writers, dancers, just a bunch of kids who just wanted to get through school. They weren't really looking for anything, whatever. And I love to create. So I challenged them to let's do a rap. That was the first project we did. And then we did a music video. We did Lean On Me, the Club Nouveau version. And that was fantastic. I got a few kids together, and then a whole group of kids came together, and the music was played, and we were doing our pop beat and this and that. A few other kids after that wanted to do more stuff. So we did fundraisers in the school for different projects. I did a fundraiser I wrote 2 yearbooks after I did a whole bunch of stage plays. I'm sorry, let me get to that point. The stage plays we did was short stories that was written and acted out by the kids. We did The Boogeyman. That was a story that I wrote where I had like 3.5 classes, to perform it. The Boogeyman was stealing historians, so I got a chance to make them study their favorite historian, and throughout the play give the audience information on their favorite historian, because the Boogeyman was kidnapping them and stealing them and taking them to Boogeyland. But the Boogeyman was afraid of this one particular person, and, so to make a long story short, there's clips of it on my YouTube page on YouTube at Cassius Ali. But it was a lot of fun, and we did so much. I had parents come to me telling me how I brightened their kids, and my guys were so excited. That's what encouraged me to do the yearbooks, to capture all that. And other stage plays, we did concerts as well. Some of my kids love to dance, so I created a stage show performance where I emceed and gave them a chance to showcase their talent. And I did a nonviolence thing at Citywide PTO at one point, which I think is also a clip of it on YouTube. It was Think Before You Hit, and I wrote that 2 days after the Boogeyman. They told me I could do excerpt of Boogeyman, but no, their topic was nonviolent, so I told them I would write something original. And the kids all came. We did an improv of that. It was a lot of fun, and the parents loved it.
That is so awesome. It is something how, for one, a lot of times we don't give our children enough credit to believe that they can do the things that they have set in their minds to do. And it's so important to nourish them and to nourish their dream, and to nurture them and encourage them to do exactly what you were doing. I'm sitting here just loving listening to how you created the stage plays and just allowing their creativity to show through. And like you said, sometimes they're not in school just because, I want to go to college, because that may not be for them, but to be creative and to find their place and what's comfortable for them and what they do, I think that is so beautiful. And when you can reach a child, you have done something, oh, my gosh, something really, really fantastic. And I applaud you for just being there for those children. And I pray that God blesses you to, in different capacities, to continue to encourage our young people, because they really, really need it. And I'm sure the parents can look back on, even though some years ago, all that you've done, it's made a difference in their lives. God bless you for that. But also you have a book of poetry. And if you don't mind, could you choose one to read, and we can talk about how you were inspired to write that particular poem?
Absolutely. I have one here, A Dream, and I'll start with that. I close my eyes to find my path. I float down the stream without a raft. I search for the door that will lead me home. I am lost in the past without a phone. I know the answers are here within me. The words, know thyself, is the key. I tell myself, I just don't care about the things I see. The truth is these things are frightening me. I feel like I'm in the middle of a nightmare on a river that feels like a future that isn't fair. I'm afraid, but I won't cry. I know I'm strong. I feel I can fly. This dream seems so real. Could I be awake? Is this world a fake? I'll let you guess. Maybe you can figure out this mess. Like most people in the world, I'm confused. To that, I will confess. That's the end of that one.
Amen.
And the meaning behind that, honestly, is that any kid, no matter where you are, you're faced with all these things, like with sports. You may not be the best basketball player, but when that's the sport you're playing in gym, you feel very small next to all the jocks. You could be in math class, and, well, maybe Algebra 1 wasn't your thing, and you felt out of place there. And you have nightmares about relationships because this girl likes you, that one tells you that, well, your head's a little too big. It's just a lot of feelings and a lot of thoughts, and it can get scary. The whole part about being strong, about trying to take control of your fears, that's the real meaning in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that. I like that poem. I like that because it does address so many different emotions. And again, especially with our young people, if we think about when we were kids, just think about when we were children, how each and every day, whether we were in school, whether we were with our friends, there were things that we went through. And we often say, oh, kids don't go through nothing. Yes, they do. They really do. And what may not seem big to others is big to them. So it's something that needs to be addressed. And that does sum up how you feel. You could feel all of those things in one day as a child, sometimes as an adult. But our children do go through, and they need us. They really do need us. You're working on some books now. One in particular that I would love for you to share is about bullying, the bully story. Can you tell us a little about that? And then let us know where we can purchase your books, The Last Word, and also, as these come out, where we can get these books as well.
Oh, absolutely. As far as The Last Word, I also want to point out that a lot of these poems in this book is basically geared to give the kids a chance. Well, we've already talked about the relating things, and we already talked about the feeling things, but I really want to give them a feeling that I'm not the teacher, I'm not the English major, I'm not the college degree. I'm a person with, a skill that I've been practicing and going over for years and so forth. But I want the kids to believe they can do anything, because if I could do it, I expect them to write novels. I want them to do movie productions. But, okay, my next subject matter in my next project is bullying. There's so much bullying going on, and I've witnessed and what have you, and in many cases experienced, that I chose to write a book, the title, A Bully Story. And that book will be about a kid who has a really rough coming up and makes some bad choices, one of which to become a bully. And in that story, you find out why he chose the avenue he did, what happened to him, and believe me, by the end of the book, you will care about him because he could be anyone you know. He could be you, because the things that happened to him will touch your heart, because it wasn't like he chose a lot of things without a lot of harsh realities. And I think that's something that all of us, particularly the kids, face on a daily basis. A second story that will be in the book, A Bully Story, is Through Jasmine's Eyes. That is a story inspired by my goddaughter, Jasmine, a story about a third grader who witnesses bullying done by another kid. And she's afraid. She doesn't know what to do. I mean, if she tells, she's afraid that they might bully her because there's a few of them. And it's to give kids a tap on the shoulder, see, this is what she did. Maybe you could do something similar, but you have the power to react and do something about it. So that's why I'm choosing that. I have some other projects coming. Oh, and where you can get it. When the book comes out, hopefully I'm scheduling it for the before the year is out, but it'll be late this year. My next book signing for The Last Word will be at the NEA conference in Atlantic City, and the book for the bully story, when it comes out, will be available just like The Last Word, Barnes & Noble, Author House, Amazon, anywhere on the web whatsoever. It'll be available, and in all forms, in hardcover, softcover, and ebook as well, or for your Kindle and things like that.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm asking my listeners to keep an ear out. Inspired Moments with Cheryl also has a book club called Inspired Moments Book Club. You can access that at enjoyharvest.com. We will be listing these books there, also on Goodreads, and as well as on our website, inspirationalliteraryworks.info. So keep an eye out, and we'll make sure that we'll have that information made available to you, because we want you to get these awesome reads, and we want you to take a moment to sit down with your children or some children in your life and share these poems, share the stories that will be coming from author Cassius Ali. And right now we're going to take a break. Stay tuned. God bless.
Nutmeg Delivery Service is an international shipping company serving the countries of the Caribbean islands. Our services include barrels, crates, household items, etc. in the tri-state area. Contact Nutmeg Delivery Service at 203-510-4977. That's 203-510-4977. Nutmeg Delivery Service is a company that delivers with quality.
And we are back. I would like to say thank you to our sponsor, Nutmeg Delivery Service. And I hope you enjoyed that short rendition of Whitney Houston's I Didn't Know My Own Strength, being performed by our next guest, Kristal Ali. She is formerly of Westfield, New Jersey. This Westminster Choir College attendee began singing at an early age, and as a small child was known as the little girl with the big voice. In addition to joining the Dell Angels in November 2009, Kristal has worked as a professional solo vocalist, vocal coach, and is also a lead singer in the gospel choir at the Congregational United Church of Christ in Plainfield, New Jersey, and participates in several other choirs as well. Kristal is no stranger to the stage, having appeared in local theater productions such as Songs of the Spirit, The Me Nobody Knows, Dream Girl, and The Wiz. Kristal has also displayed her singing talents in the Wonderland on Ice Spectacular at Neil's New Yorker in upstate New York. Listeners, I want you to greet our next guest, Kristal Ali. We want to say a hearty thank you and welcome to Inspired Moments with Cheryl. I want everyone to know that I call you singer extraordinaire. I'm trying to tell you all that when I heard this young lady sing, oh my goodness, wow. I just want to say thank you for joining us today, Kristal.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. we want to talk about your singing. Oh, my goodness. And when she was a small child, she was called the little girl with the big voice, but she's the young woman with the great voice today. So I want you to tell our listeners how you got started singing and what keeps you wanting to sing.
Well, I've been singing probably since I was 5 years old, maybe even younger. I probably came out singing. And I was listening to the radio, and I just started imitating some of the music, and I would actually play back and copy what I heard, and then copy myself on the tape, and then I'd say, no, that's not right, and then I'd go back and play it again. That's when I was younger. However, when I got a little bit older, I was in the church choirs, and I started out just singing in the choir, and they started putting me out in the front, and that's how I started. That's one of the ways. My mom also used to have friends over, and she would have me and my brother out as the entertainment for all her friends. She would direct and tell me which way to sing, which way to come on for the stage, and the whole bit. So my mother is a big inspiration with that. And one thing about singers is the singers get real nervous when they get on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I've built up over the years not being that nervous, because when I get on stage, it becomes a whole nother thing. I sing from the soul. I think about the words when I'm singing. And one of the biggest goals that I have is to help other people when I'm singing to get through whatever day they might have. I really believe that singing, as well as other talents, are a God-given talent, and that I'm singing for God. That's very important to me.
Amen. And that is, you're one of the first singers that actually stated that when you're singing, to me you're saying you sing with understanding, and yet you sing for others to understand as well. It's not just singing because you have this beautiful voice, but you're allowing this talent that God has blessed you with to be a blessing to other people, and I think that is an awesome thing. You also, are you still a vocal coach? Is that something that you still do?
Yes, it is something. Right now, actually, I am doing quite a few things. I'm in a doo-wop group called the Dell Angels, and that's something I kind of do on the side. We have a website called thedelangels.com with one L.com, and you could check that out if you want to. And I'm also the lead singer for the gospel choir at the Plainfield United Church of Christ. And I'm also in the Heritage Gospel Choir in Plainfield. And I also do a lot of different solo work. If they ask me to come sing, I'll come sing. So I get around, I'm here and I'm there. And then, I pick up a couple of coaching jobs here and there. I'm not doing that right this minute, but I definitely plan on doing it in the near future.
Oh, okay, that sounds good, because I know a lot of I'm a stickler with young folks. If you can get that gift while they're young, and your mom, she did a fantastic job nurturing you and your gift as a child, just putting you out there and getting you out there, so that entertaining is something that's a part of you. And aside from the singing, the entertaining, because to get up and even in front of a small crowd of people, your nerves are like on edge. And speaking of that, you also you're in the theater and have been in some local theater productions. Can you share that with us as well?
Absolutely. My most recent play, that was around 2009, because I'm mostly doing singing group stuff now, was called The Leader of the Pack. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
Oh, you have? Okay. The Leader of the Pack, it is about Ellie Greenwich, and it's a lot of the doo-wop music and Phil Spector, and I played Darlene Love, and I learned a lot of different songs that I've never heard of before, and was able to sing. From that, I joined the Del Angels. And I worked with Pam Del Franco, who brought me in to do some more of the doo-wop outside of that. So I've been doing that ever since. The Leader of the Pack was one thing that I was so happy to be in because it was a play that I got into after a few years of not really doing the plays. I was just singing and doing things like that. And the reason why is because my kids sing. My daughter, Christina, she has a beautiful voice. My son, Christopher, he sings as well. And I would sing in the church, and they would mix us up, and they would call her a little me, that type of thing. And she didn't like that. And I just, I didn't want to audition for some of the plays that they had, which was through the Rainbow Theater, through the Congregational Church. I didn't audition for some of them because I didn't want them to put me in a big lead and kind of leave her behind there because she's such a great talent. Mm-hmm. So this time, though, she had gotten a little older, and I decided, well, this time I'm just going to go ahead and go in the Leader of the Pack, and it was one of the best things that I've done. It kind of got everything back out there again, and I started doing more and more things. I've never stopped singing. I've always been singing. I've done Dorothy. I played Dorothy in The Wiz at the Railway Theater. Some other shows I did Winter Wonderland or Wonderland on Ice in Neil's New Yorker. The Me Nobody Knows I've done twice. I played Nell in The Me Nobody Knows. That's about some kids that are kind of like out on the street, and that was a lot of fun. That was in Plainfield as well. So I plan on doing some more theater. I really have a dream to do a Broadway show, and that is something that I'm going to audition for.
Wow. Well, I pray that God continues to bless you on your journey. This is really, really, really good, and please let us know when you're part of another play or when you make it to Broadway, because we're looking forward to that. Keep us in the know so that we can have our listeners purchase tickets to come out and see you. And can you share with us some things that you're working on in addition to more stage plays? Is there something else that you have on the burners?
Yes, there is. There's quite a few things we're working on right now. Right now, my husband, Cassius Ali.
Oh, that would be me. Let me pick up that one. I've been writing some original songs for Kristal, one of which is one of my favorites, I Think of You. That'll put you in mind of a Whitney Houston song. I wrote another one called Since You Took My Love. That's a song about someone who lost the love of their life, and they're having a prayer/conversation with God about how can you take that person and not me too? How do you expect me to go on without them? And every time someone heard that one, there's a tear in their eye. I wrote a few fast-paced gospel songs like All Praise the King. I pretty much geared it around the gospel because I know that's Kristal's favorite. But there's rhythm and blues, there's hip-hop. You can categorize it any way you wish, but there's many different flavors.
One thing I know about Cassius, I've known him, of course, for a very long time, and he has just always been very encouraging, and he is an excellent writer. So I figured, well, he could write some stuff for me. And we plan on working together with another gentleman that's going to help us with the composing. And we just are very excited about the album that we're going to put together. And that should be coming out very soon.
Wow. That has to be one awesome thing, to be able to be married, raise children together, nurture them, encourage them, just wow. And then work together to do something so awesome as that. Wow.
Well,
that's beautiful. It's
well,
beautiful.
That's one of the One of the things is I really believe in leading by example. And my daughter, she's picked up the guitar, just started writing as well, and she's probably written about 12 songs herself and would like to record them as well. So we're kind of doing this as a family thing. We can record some of the things we're doing. She can record some of the things she's doing. And I just love working with them. So
that's awesome, and it shows family unity too. In a day where we see so many families torn apart by whatever, to see the example of a family working together, coming together to do great things, to be a help to other people, that is just something words can't even express. And I applaud you both for your passion and for your love for your craft and for loving God and for allowing Him to do what He does through you both. And we're just grateful that we've had this opportunity. I've met Cassius. I have not met you yet, Kristal. I plan to, because I want to be in the audience of one of your stage plays or one of your concerts. I've got to come and hear you in person. I just don't believe the YouTube did you justice, because I'm just, oh my goodness, just blown away. And just so my listeners will know, when you hear me talk about Kristal Ali, I call her singer extraordinaire. Don't forget that, because I'm telling you, this young lady and her talent is going places. You're going to hear her name again. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you to you, Cassius, and to you, Kristal, for joining us today on the broadcast, and I look forward to having you back again. Is there anything that you would like to share with our listeners before you go?
Well, first I want to say it was a pleasure, definitely. And for anyone listening who has picked up the book, The Last Word, please just open your eyes, read with your heart, and ride with it, because it's like it's like being on a cruise. You'll find so many enjoyable things along before you get to the end.
And I just have to say thank you so much for inviting me to speak today. And the main thing why I sing, why I do all the other things that I do, is to just show that God is out there and that we should be using our talents. I truly believe that anybody that's listening out there that has talents, they should be out there using them every single day. That's what God gave you the talent for to begin with, and it's to help other people with your God-given talent. So that's my message.
Amen. Thank you again, and God bless you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's edition of Inspired Moments with Sharel. For a copy of today's program, visit inspirationalliteraryworks.info or call